Today I'm going to show you a few cool ways to get some new textures using Grainferno. So if you didn't know, Grainferno is a granular sampler, which I like to think of as a way to explore tiny parts of samples. So you can click and drag this bar around to find a specific part of a sample that you want to loop. The sample I'm using is Botanic Synthscape, which is a sample I made for the factory presets. And the key controls in granular synthesis are the rate, so how often new grains are generated, which is also the range that they cover. And then there's the size, which is how long each grain is. Or I like to kind of think of it as the density. So if you have the size under ×1, it's going to play little chops. But then when you have it over 1, it's going to have a bunch of grains overlap over each other, kind of creating a new texture soundscape. Then you have the shape, which adds gradual fade in, fade out. So if you turn it to the right, it's going to be a little bit more plucky. And if you turn to the left, it'll be more kind of blocky. And then you have some basic movement parameters, like scan will just move the position of the sample for you. So if you had it at ×1, it's going to play at the same speed that the sample was recorded at. Or you can reverse it this way. And then you have scatter, which randomly plays different grains around the position you have currently playing. So if you turn up just a little bit, it's a little bit natural movement. And then we have the scatter up like all the way. It's just going to play a bunch of different loops from different parts of the sample. And then something unique that Grainferno has is an individual grain compressor. So vertical will be the loudness of each grain, and then the horizontal is the amount of compression, which can start to distort if you turn it up a lot. But that can be cool in some cases. So if you wanted to make this a kind of like pretty stereo soundscape, you can use these random LFOs, which will be a random value for each grain. So I might drag this to the pan and turn this up. So we're gonna have a bunch of grains like swirling around our heads. Right now our pitch knob is set where we can freely move this around, which isn't super musical, so we can change this to octave snap and also map this same random LFO to the pitch. Turn this down a couple octaves and make this have a higher range. So this will randomly play different octaves. Right now our rate is also key mapped, so it'll be a different rate per key press. So I'm going to change it to milliseconds. In the FX tab, we have a bunch of standard effects like filters, compression or OTT, distortions, chorus, phaser, flanger. I really like this delay. It's got a few different settings. You have normal, which will play right and left at the same time, then ping pong, which will alternate the right and left, or glitch, which is kind of granular, will play random parts of what you just played. I might move the OTT after that. Just kidding, I'll leave it before. And then you can also make the delay a reverse delay. I might go ahead and sample this so we can use this as an atmosphere for later. We can even use one of these random knobs to control the position and have it go really slowly. Kind of like a secondary, like random scan. I'm actually going to change that to be C random. So this is going to be the same random value for each grain. So we can all have the grains be synced to the same position. So after you record something like that, you can get a new instance of Grainferno and then drop your session you just recorded back into it. And then there's all these templates down here. And I want to play different parts of the sample with my keyboard without pitching it around, so I'm going to select slice mode. And I'm going to make this mono so it only plays one at a time. And if we turn up glide, it'll slowly move between the different slices. I'm going to quickly change this to BPM sync. Now I'm going to get another instance of Grainferno, and something I really like to do is get a long C3 sample, but has a bunch of variation going on. So I might get a vocal from my friend Oya Holiday, and I'm going to get Humanoid by Baby Audio, just so I can transpose this entire vocal to BC. So I might resample this real quick. Now we can go to our new instance of Grainferno and drag in the vocal we just recorded. And now we can dynamically play this vocal. And maybe I want a second sample that's a little bit less robotic. So in Humanoid, I have this set to sine mode, and then I bounce that, and I can drag this into the bottom of Grainferno, and we can fade between these two samples. We can have it where it randomly plays either one sample or the other. I think I'm going to want this to be a little bit more rhythmic, so I'm going to change this to BPM sync. And something unique that Grainferno has that other granulators don't have is the ability to change the pitch to a scale. So since this vocal is in C by default, it's going to play in C minor when we have minor selected. And that's what my song is in right now, so I don't need to change it. But I'm going to drag one of these randoms to the pitch. And turn up the smoothing so it moves slower. So we can basically have this generate a melody for us by having the pitch randomized. And if I hold multiple notes together, it'll play a unique harmony. I might also have a random on this position too. And we can just quickly turn on our reverb and delay. And we can move this pitch around to kind of change the center. And if we wanted to save this preset for later, we could map some macros to make this easy to change. So maybe we can have one knob that controls the morph between the two. So on the left, it's going to be the more siny one. And on the right is the more kind of solid one. Then I'm thinking macro 2 can be the pitch, so we can change the pitch center. Maybe macro 3 can control the random smoothing, and macro 4 can be the random amount. Maybe we can bring back some of this atmosphere from earlier. You can also find a preset that's already like kind of set up with macros and stuff, and then drag in some random like sample from your library. So I hope you got some ideas of how to use Grainferno to its fullest potential. My personal favorite things about this are the randomness per grain and the ability to transpose by scale. Check out my channel if you like my style, and don't forget to drink water.